If you've ever typed stablecoin yield into YouTube, you've seen the same promise in 100 different costumes. Earn 8% on USDT. No volatility. Just chill. And it feels logical, right? Bitcoin is around $92,500 and Ethereum is around $3,200 as I'm recording this, which means the market is loud, fast, emotional. So your brain says, I don't need the roller coaster. I'll park in stablecoins and collect interest. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Stablecoin yield is not interest for being patient. It's payment for taking somebody else's risk. Today, I am going to show you the hidden machine that prints that safe 5 to 10% and the exact moment that machine breaks. Not theory, mechanisms. The same mechanics that have blown up platforms, wrecked portfolios, and turned passive income into my withdrawals are paused. We'll follow one person through this. Someone who starts as a normal personal finance newbie, gets pulled in by the word stable, and learns the hard way that stable doesn't mean safe. By the end, you'll be able to look at any stablecoin yield offer and answer one question in 10 seconds. What am I actually getting paid for? Meet Alex. Alex is not a crypto native. Alex is the person who watched personal finance TikTok for 2 years, finally built an emergency fund, and then, during a bull run, felt that familiar itch. Everyone is making money. I'm late. Alex's first move is actually responsible. He doesn't ape into meme coins. He buys stablecoins, USDT and USDC, because the pitch sounds like adult money, digital dollars. Park cash, earn yield. Then he sees the number, 8% AP. Flexible, withdraw anytime. Low risk. Alex does the math in his head and gets emotionally high on a boring spreadsheet. 8% on $20,000 is more than his bank pays. And it feels like he found a cheat code that doesn't require predicting charts. No liquidation, no leverage, no drama. So he deposits. Week 1, the yield shows up. Tiny, daily. It feels like the platform is a money tree dripping coins. Alex screenshotted it. Sent it to a friend. This is literally free money, he says. Week 2, the platform raises rates. Limited time. Alex tops up. Not because he needs the return, because he doesn't want to miss the return. Week 3, a rumor hits Twitter. Some whale pulled liquidity from a big pool. A stablecoin briefly wobbled off $1. People argue. It's fine. It's FUD. Alex refreshes his app like it's a heartbeat monitor. Then the moment comes. Not a hack. Not a scam banner flashing, we're rugging you. Just a clean, corporate sentence. Withdrawals are temporarily paused due to market conditions. Alex reads it twice, then 3 times. It's the emotional whiplash that kills you. Yesterday this was cash. Today it's an unsecured claim. Now Alex is forced to learn what he skipped. While Alex is frozen, the timeline keeps moving. He watches a Deegan friend brag about delta-neutral stablecoin yield like it's physics. Bro, it's hedged. It's risk-free. Another friend is a serious trader who says, I borrow stables to short spikes and long dips. I'll pay anything for borrow when volatility is hot. A third friend runs a small business and quietly asks Alex, is there a way to hold dollars on-chain and still earn something? Banks are slow. All 3 people are touching the same pile of stablecoins, but for completely different reasons. Alex realizes he didn't just deposit into a product. He deposited into a market. And markets have one brutal rule. The calm days subsidize the panic days. On calm days, the system looks like a savings account. On panic days, the system reveals what it really is. A chain of promises stacked on top of collateral, stacked on top of liquidations, stacked on top of human fear. That's why the pause message is so devastating. It tells you the yield you earned was never free. You were getting paid to be the person who can't leave first. Now Alex is forced to learn what he skipped. Stablecoins don't generate yield by existing. Yield is created by what your stablecoins are used for. Sometimes your safe 8% is actually lending to traders who are leveraged, being routed into DeFi pools you've never opened, funding market makers who need borrow, or sitting behind a balance sheet you cannot audit in real time. And when the market gets stressed, the same thing happens across the ecosystem. The demand to borrow collapses, liquidity becomes expensive, and the easiest risk management move is to trap depositors inside. This is the part most videos avoid because it ruins the fantasy. In crypto, withdraw anytime is often marketing language, not a guarantee. Alex is now stuck in a psychological prison. If he panics and sells his claim at a discount, he feels stupid. If he waits, he feels powerless. If he tells his family, he feels ashamed. So he does what millions do. He stays quiet, refreshes the app, and tells himself, it'll unlock tomorrow. But tomorrow is a weapon the market uses on people who didn't read the fine print. And here's the twist. Even if your stablecoin never depegs, even if the platform never goes bankrupt, you can still— Let's make stablecoin yield painfully concrete. There are only a few ways yield can exist. Everything else is just packaging. Engine number 1. Lending demand. You deposit USDC or USDT. Someone else borrows it. Who borrows? Traders who want leverage, market makers who need inventory, arbitrageurs who need short-term liquidity, sometimes even institutions doing basis trades. When volatility is high and people are aggressive, borrow demand rises and rates rise. When the market cools or crashes, borrow demand can vanish, right when you want to withdraw. Key insight: lending yield is a mood ring for risk appetite. Engine number 2. Liquidity provision and fees. You provide stable coins to pools so other people can swap in and out. You earn trading fees and sometimes extra incentives. Sounds safe because both assets are stable, but the risks are real. Pools can be drained by smart contract bugs, incentives can disappear overnight, and in extreme stress, stable assets don't always stay stable. Key insight: you're not earning a return, you're underwriting liquidity. Engine number 3. Treasury and real-world yield wrappers. Some products route stablecoin deposits into tokenized treasury exposure or off-chain short-duration instruments. This can be structurally safer than pure crypto leverage, but it introduces a different risk set: custody, legal structure, redemption windows, jurisdiction rules, and what happens if the issuer or service provider is restricted. It's not DeFi risk, it's finance plumbing risk. Key insight: you may be buying a bond-like cash product without bond-like protections. Engine number 4. Basis, hedged, or delta neutral trades. This is the one that seduces smart people. The pitch: we go long spot, short perp, collect funding. Market neutral, stable yield. When it works, it looks like magic. When it breaks during the exact moments the market is most chaotic. Funding flips, spreads blow out, liquidity thins, and liquidation cascades can force exits at the worst prices. Key insight: hedged doesn't mean safe, hedged means complex. Now here's the psychological trick that turns these engines into a trap. The word stablecoin hijacks your brain. It makes you treat the product like cash, while the yield mechanism behaves like a risk asset. So you size it like cash. You store life money there. You stop monitoring it. You tell yourself you're being conservative. That's why stablecoin yield is the perfect weapon for bull run newbies. It doesn't ask you to be greedy. It asks you to be responsible, and then it slips risk into the back door. If you want to avoid becoming Alex, you need to learn to read yield the way professionals do. Not as a number, but as a signal. A high stablecoin APY is not a gift. It's a flare. Here are the 4 risks you must attach to every stablecoin yield offer, no matter how reputable the branding looks. Risk A. Counterparty risk. If it's custodial, you are effectively lending to the platform. If they take bad loans or mismatch duration, you may become the last person paid. Risk B. Peg risk. A stablecoin can wobble because of reserve fear, liquidity gaps, or market panic. Even a short depeg can trigger withdrawal queues that snowball. Risk C. Liquidity and redemption risk. Withdraw anytime is not the same as redeem anytime. Some products have queues, gates, lockups, or variable redemption pricing. The risk is losing the ability to choose your timing. Risk D. Smart contract and oracle risk. If your yield comes from DeFi, you inherit code risk. That includes exploits and oracle failures. It's saying one of 3 things: borrowers are desperate, incentives are temporary, someone is taking risk you can't see. And the moment you accept that, the whole market starts to look different. Because you stop asking, how do I get 10%? And you start asking, who is paying me 10%? And what are they afraid of? Now let's go even deeper. Here's the unpopular opinion that will save you money. Most people don't lose in crypto because they picked the wrong coin. They lose because they pick the wrong story about themselves. They tell themselves, "I'm not greedy. I'm just earning stablecoin yield." And that story is exactly how the market recruits your money. Because stablecoin yield is often short volatility in disguise. You collect small, calm payments in exchange for being exposed to a rare, violent event. That's why it feels safe right up until the moment it isn't. Think about what happens in a panic. Everyone wants out at the same time. Borrowers stop borrowing. Traders delever. Liquidity providers widen spreads. And platforms face a choice. Either pay withdrawals and risk collapsing, or pause withdrawals and survive. So when you see 10% safe yield, ask a darker question. What's the emergency plan? Because if the emergency plan is pause, then your yield is basically rent you earned for living in a house with one exit. Now let's talk about the thing nobody wants to admit. Crypto isn't just finance. It's identity. Newbies want to feel smart without feeling reckless. Long-term holders want to feel disciplined without feeling slow. Deegans want to feel alive without feeling irresponsible. Business owners want efficiency without losing compliance. Gen Z wants to understand the game without getting wrecked. Stablecoin yield sells itself to every one of those identities. It says, you can be in crypto without being in crypto. And that's why it scales so fast in bull markets. But there's another contrarian truth. Even if you never get rugged, even if the platform never freezes, stablecoin yield can still make you poorer by making you lazy. Because the most valuable asset in crypto is not the APY. It's attention. If you stop paying attention, you stop noticing. When rates are being subsidized, when risks are shifting, when a stable product quietly changes terms, when the market regime flips. Your money doesn't disappear in one explosion. It leaks in slow motion and then locks up in one bad weekend. So what should you do? Never touch yield? No, the goal is not to avoid yield. The goal is to stop being hypnotized by yield. You need to treat stablecoin yield like a job interview. The number on the screen is not the offer. It's the recruiter's bait. Here's a practical way to see it. Every stablecoin yield product sits on a risk ladder. At the bottom, you have yield that is basically short-term government rate packaged in a token wrapper. It can still fail, but the core engine is real-world interest. In the middle, you have over-collateralized on-chain lending. Borrowers post volatile collateral, you lend stablecoins, and liquidation is supposed to protect lenders. You're betting the liquidation system works under stress. Higher up, you have strategies that depend on liquidity and leverage staying healthy. Basis trade. All right, here's the framework Alex wishes he had before he clicked deposit. I call it the safe checklist plus one final step, so 5 steps total. Step 1. Set the role of stablecoin yield in your life before you touch APY. Decide what this money is. Is it emergency money, rent money, business payroll, or purely investment capital? If it's life critical, your number one goal is liquidity and certainty, not yield. If it's investment capital, you can take measured risk, but only with a cap you can live with. Write one sentence. This stablecoin yield position exists to underscore. If you can't fill that blank, you're not investing. You're drifting. Step 2. Choose the stablecoin like you're choosing a counterparty. A stablecoin is not just a dollar. It's a structure. Ask who issues it. What backs it? How does redemption work in a crisis? You don't need to be an auditor. You just need to be allergic to ambiguity. Step 3. Identify the yield engine in plain English, no fancy words. One line. Where does my yield come from? If the answer is lending, ask, lending to who and what collateral? If the answer is liquidity pool, ask, what contract risk am I taking? If the answer is treasury wrapper, ask, what's the legal and redemption path? If the answer is delta neutral, ask, what breaks first when volatility spikes? If they can't explain it simply, don't give them your money. Complexity is not sophistication. Complexity is camouflage. Step 4. Stress test the exit. This is the part everyone skips because it kills the fantasy. Imagine the worst 72 hours. Bitcoin drops hard, headlines scream, and everyone wants to move to cash. Now ask, can I withdraw instantly? Is there a queue? Is there a lockup? Is there a gate? If the platform pauses, what do I actually own? If the answer is trust us, that's not a plan. That's a prayer. Step 5. Position sizing plus rules that protect you from yourself. This is the discipline layer. Make 3 rules. Rule 1. Cap size. Pick a percentage of your liquid net worth you will never exceed for stablecoin yield products. Rule 2. Cap complexity. If you can't explain it to a friend without sounding confused, you don't size up. Rule 3. Cap dependence. Never let your monthly life depend on a yield rate that can change tomorrow. Then do one adult thing that changes everything. Schedule a review. Once a week in bull markets, once a month in calmer markets. Check rates, check terms, check news, and ask, has the engine changed? Because the real edge isn't finding yield. The real edge is noticing when the yield is no longer worth the risk. Here are a few micro actions that make this framework real. For step 1, split your money into 3 buckets. Bucket A, I must access this fast. This stays in the lowest risk place you have. Bucket B, I want modest yield. This is where conservative yield products can live. Bucket C, I'm experimenting. This is where advanced strategies belong, small, controlled. For step 2, don't marry one stablecoin. If you're going to hold size, consider splitting between 2 high liquidity stables so a single issuer shock doesn't wipe your exit. For step 3, demand transparency in mechanics. If a platform pays you rewards, ask if the rewards are coming from real revenue or from emissions. Emissions can be fine, temporarily, but you must assume they decay. For step 4, practice the exit on a normal day. Do a test withdrawal. Measure time. Measure fees. See if anything feels sticky. A product you can exit smoothly on a quiet Tuesday is not going to treat you well on a violent Sunday. For step 5, protect your keys and your approvals. If you're using DeFi, let's talk about the part nobody wants to say out loud. Crypto doesn't just take your money. It takes your voice. When Alex's withdrawals paused, the first thing he lost wasn't dollars. It was the ability to tell the truth without feeling small. He didn't want to admit he chased yield. He didn't want to admit he didn't read the terms. He didn't want to hear the sentence that hurts more than any chart. You knew better. So he did what people do in silence. He carried it alone. And that loneliness is where bad decisions multiply. Because in crypto, pain doesn't feel like pain at first. It feels like hope. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe the peg comes back. Maybe the platform reopens. Maybe I'm one update away from being fine. Hope can be beautiful, but hope without a plan becomes a drug. That's why stablecoin yield is such a psychological trap. It gives you the calm identity, I am not gambling, while putting you inside a system that can still lock you. And when it locks you, it doesn't just freeze your balance. It freezes your self-respect. You start bargaining. If I get my money back, I'll never touch crypto again. Then the market pumps and you bargain the other way. If I get my money back, I'll do it smarter next time. You're not investing anymore. You're negotiating with your past. Here's what I want you to hear, especially if you've ever been Alex. You are not stupid for wanting yield. You are human for wanting a shortcut. Every financial system on Earth is built on the fact that people want certainty and returns at the same time. The difference between people who survive crypto and people who get used by it is not IQ. It's emotional honesty. The survivors do 3 uncomfortable things. They name the risk. They cap the risk. They forgive themselves fast enough to learn. Because the market punishes denial. Not mistakes, denial. Because there is a mature version of you that can use crypto as infrastructure. Payments, on-chain dollars, global access, smart contracts, without turning your nervous system into a daily price chart. Alex eventually tells one person, not the internet, not a group chat, one person he trusts. And something surprising happens. The shame shrinks. Because the truth is, almost everyone who has been around crypto long enough has a scar. A liquidation. I can't withdraw. I thought it was safe. That's why the most valuable community in crypto isn't a signals group. It's a place where people can admit what they did wrong without being farmed for engagement. Now zoom out. Stablecoin yield sits right at the intersection of 2 human cravings. The craving to feel safe and the craving to feel smart. That's why it's so sticky. You don't have to be reckless to get pulled in. You just have to be tired. Tired of banks paying nothing. Tired of inflation eating quietly. Tired of feeling late. So you grab the one product that promises adult returns without crypto chaos. And the market smiles because it knows something. If it can convince you that you're being conservative while you're taking risk, it gets your money without resistance. This is also why people swing between extremes. So here's the payoff. Simple, honest, and not romantic. Crypto is risky. Stablecoins are not FDIC-insured cash. Stablecoin yield is not a gift. It's a trade. But you're not powerless. If you remember nothing else, remember this. A stablecoin yield offer is not a number. It's a story about risk. Your job is to translate that story into plain English before you let it touch your money. And when you do, something changes. You stop being the person the market feeds on. You stop being liquidity for someone else's leverage. You stop letting a calm-looking app decide your emotional state. You become the kind of investor who can survive multiple cycles. Not because you predict the top, not because you find the next 100x, but because you protect your oxygen. That's the real flex in crypto. Staying in the game long enough to compound skills, not just coins. If you're a newbie watching this in a bull run, here's your permission slip. You don't need to go full Deegan to make it. You don't need to copy whales. You don't need to chase the highest APY. You need to learn the rules of the casino before you sit down. If you're a long-term holder, here's your reminder. Being patient doesn't mean being passive. It means being intentional. It means choosing products you understand and refusing the ones you don't. If you're a serious trader, here's the uncomfortable truth. Your edge is not leverage. Your edge is risk control. The market will always offer you a bigger position size. It will never offer you a bigger second chance. And if you're a business owner or high net worth viewer looking at stablecoins as financial infrastructure, your edge is structure, compliance, custody, diversification, and clear redemption pathways. Speed is useless if it traps you. Alex didn't need a perfect strategy. He needed a boundary, a cap, an exit, a weekly review, a way to stay emotionally honest. If this video helped you see stablecoin yield with less pink glasses, but also with less fear, drop a comment with your story, your question, or even just one sentence. What part of this hit you the hardest? And if you've got time, click my avatar, check the channel description, and you'll find the tools and platforms I personally link there. If you choose to use any of them, do it with awareness. Understand the risks, know your limits, follow the rules in your country, and never deposit money you can't afford to lock up. Also, if you're still here, you're the kind of person who can win this game. Not by being perfect, by being consistent. Next video, we're going to dissect a major crypto collapse step by step. Not to shame anyone, but to extract a survival blueprint you can reuse in every cycle. Until then, protect your downside, respect your money, and don't let stable hypnotize you. One last thing, because this is where most people fail. They try to beat crypto. They try to outsmart it, out-hustle it, out-leverage it. That's backwards. The mature move is to let crypto teach you how you react under